Senator Rand Paul is the first U.S. lawmaker, first senator specifically, to test positive for COVID-19. And this is a bit of a disaster considering the activities he was involved in on the very day he announced that he tested positive for COVID-19. Now, via tweet, he wrote, or someone from his team wrote, Senator Rand Paul has tested positive for COVID-19. He's feeling fine and is in quarantine. He is asymptomatic and was tested out of an abundance of caution due to his extensive travel and events. He was not aware of any direct contact with any infected person. Now, here's where one of the bigger issues is, because when you talk about coronavirus, when you talk about COVID-19, you got to think about how it spreads. It's a very easy to spread virus, right? And we found out that on March 15th, Rand Paul learned that two individuals at an event he attended in Kentucky, Speed Arts Museum's March 7th speedball event, sounds fun, tested positive for coronavirus. Paul hadn't interacted with them, but he got the test 6 or 7 days ago, a source said. And after thinking about the particular vulnerability of those with respiratory and lung issues. Okay, so Rand Paul became the first senator to announce that he tested positive for COVID-19 after working out with fellow lawmakers in the Senate gym only that morning. That's what the issue is. So you have a number of senators right now who are like in that gym with him. They're trying not to make it seem like they're panicking, but just watch this video of Mitt Romney and let me know if it seems like he's panicking.
Very, very unhappy to hear that Rand Paul has been diagnosed with COVID-19. Wish him the very best. He's compromised given health conditions he's had in the past, and so we'll be praying for him and thinking about him. And of course, all the senators are going to seek medical advice as to what action we should take to make sure that we don't in any way spread this virus ourselves.
You were all in the lunch together on Friday.
Yes, we were in lunch together with Rand, and hope he's doing very well. But we have to determine whether any of us should self-quarantine as a result of being in the same room.
So a number of senators are going to self-quarantine as a result of this. And I think that's the smart thing to do. GOP senators told CNN Paul was in the gym with colleagues Sunday morning, and several pointed out how Paul had sat next to others during Senate luncheons in recent days. So there's Senator Jerry Moran of Kansas said he saw Paul in the Senate swimming pool on Sunday. So who knows how many senators had contact with him or were near him. And many of them are either considering self-quarantining or have already done so.
Okay, look, it's a serious story, and I don't just say this. I really do hope Rand Paul's okay and Mitt Romney's okay, etc. But now we have to address the elephant in the room, if you will. There's actually several elephants. First, you're right. Romney looked more panicked than I've ever seen anyone look panicked.
Definitely.
I mean, that was amazing. He was like this, we were having lunch together. I got to figure out what's going on. I got to figure out what's going on. Okay, because we were at the same table. Right. All right, man. Okay. Look, you're right to be concerned. Just like your eyes are more open than I've ever seen anyone's eyes be open before.
Look, I know, Jay, and look, he did look panicked, right? Which is why I chose that video for the show. But like, I can't blame him because even though let's just keep it real, okay? Politics aside, he is a good-looking older man, but you don't know that he's an older man. Like, he looks really good for his age. I think he's in like the danger zone, right? Age-wise.
Oh, yeah, he's in his 70s. No.
Yeah.
No, look, that's why I say no joke on the substance of it. We hope he's okay and everybody's okay there, right? As much as I disagree with all of them, for God's sake, this isn't about that at all. So now, but on to Rand Paul and his hypocrisies. Well, dude, if you're worried enough to take a test, you should be worried enough not to go to the gym and the pool. Well, anyone who was in that pool the same day that Rand Paul was in that pool, good night and good luck, right? And again, not blithely, like really get tested immediately. And they tell all of us, rightfully so, don't go to the gym. Meanwhile, these knucklehead senators are, sweating all over each other at the gym, the pool, the lunches, etc. I mean, they're taking no precautions at all. And then the last part of it is, look, it's near impossible in California to get tested. And the only way you can get tested in California is if you're a Los Angeles Laker, okay? And now, meanwhile, Rand Paul had no symptoms and said, I don't think I ran into anyone who actually had it. I'll get tested anyway. And they're like, sure, boom, here's a test.
Yeah.
So the elites getting these tests and people with significant fevers not being tested, that's going to come to a boiling point really, really soon.
I feel like this virus has, like, the country's naked, right? Like everything that we suspected about the country, the inequality, the unfairness, just the double standard between the rich and the poor, like all of it is just out in the open. And I think what we're noticing with like Harvey Weinstein's been tested. Harvey Weinstein has been tested, right? I mean, and he tested positive. Anyway, it is interesting to see how easy it is for some to get those tests while others are having a difficult time doing so. And look, we're taking this seriously for obvious reasons. We don't wish ill upon anyone, even if we disagree with them politically. But one person who certainly does not rise above it is Donald Trump. And so when he heard about the possibility of Mitt Romney maybe in the future testing positive because of the contact he's had with Rand Paul, here's how he reacted.
On top of Senator Paul, now 4 senators are in isolation, and the rules say that in order to vote, they have to be there. Romney, Senator Lee, Senator Gardner,
Senator Rick Scott.
Senator Rick Scott.
Romney's in isolation?
Yes.
Gee, that's too bad. Go ahead.
Detect sarcasm there,
No,
sir?
none whatsoever.
It's such a bad person. Like to his core, he's a bad person.
How do people not see that he's the bad guy in the movie? I'm stunned by that every single day. Was that sarcasm? Of course it was sarcasm. Gee, that's too bad, right? Like, we make points, rhetorical points about Rand Paul and say, but we hope to God he's okay, right? He is literally, seems to be wishing that Mitt Romney get the coronavirus. He's such a terrible guy. And but to the rhetorical point about Rand Paul, he is a libertarian, so I hope he's not using his government issued health insurance. I want him to be okay. He's fabulously rich. He could just pay out of his pocket probably. But I mean, this is the time for bootstraps, because he has told every other person for his entire career, bootstraps for all of you. The government should never help you. So, and he voted against funding for coronavirus. So I hope he's not going to a government institution or using government paid insurance or any of those things, because this is a perfect time for bootstraps.
Well, of course he's going to use those goodies that come along with his job, right? But, you know, earlier in the story, it was referenced that he has an underlying medical condition that puts him at, you know, grave danger with this virus. And it's because when he got into that physical altercation with his neighbor, part of his lung was removed. And remember, this is a virus that attacks your respiratory system aggressively. So this is pretty disastrous news for Rand Paul.
Yeah, look, last thing on this. Guys, when we try to get healthcare for everyone, we're not going to exclude Republicans. So I make that rhetorical point because I wish to God that people like Rand Paul would actually have empathy for other human beings for once in their life. Having said that, should Rand Paul use his government paid for health insurance because he's a senator? Of course he should. And of course he should use everything that the government has to offer for anyone who gets sick, because we don't want him to die. And that's why there are no libertarians in pandemic foxholes. So when there's a pandemic, everybody becomes a socialist overnight. Mm-hmm. And so does Rand Paul, and that's okay, because we want him to be safe. But when he comes out of it, will he have any empathy for any other human being out there?